Okay, guys, we're gonna get started. So the icebreaker, we have a lot of new staff that have come in. So the icebreaker we'll do is, what was your highlight of the summer, since we're coming to a close? I guess I can go first. My parents have a beach house, or my family, my dad's side of the family, in Maryland, and we got to do that at the beginning of summer. So that's like my favorite place to go. Dakota, you're next.
I'm next.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I went to Virginia, which was fun. We went to the lake. We went to a lake house, which I thought my family owned. Does not own it, but it was a nice lake house. You know the book you gave me? I accidentally left it there, and it just came back in the mail. It just
Nice.
came back in the mail, so I gotta continue picking up on reading that. But other than that, good trip. Good trip.
And this is Dakota.
Pleasure to meet everybody.
He has been doing prep.
Yes, I'm
That's
in
what
prep.
I'm doing. Yes. Sorry, say your names as well.
Hey, you didn't say your name.
Everyone generally knows me, but yes, you're right.
Alright, I'm Sophia. Probably. I went on 2 trips this summer and they were both like technically missions trips. But I had a lot of fun.
I'm Jenna.
You what?
I didn't really do that.
It's a good highlight.
Yeah. No, I did get to go to New York.
Nice.
I'm Spencer, and I got to supervise the council kid camp. Yeah, it was interesting.
I'm Caleb, and I got to go to Six Flags in Massachusetts.
Oh, nice.
Clay, and I went to Arizona and Boston.
Nice.
I'm Ellie and I went to folklore. Or not to folklore. So sorry. Florida.
Yeah,
But like the
but-
same thing.
Hey, you
Oh
and
my
me
gosh,
both.
you guys. It's the
That's
highlight.
funny. Yeah. It's like, okay, Ellie.
Yeah. No,
So did I, Ellie.
Nice. Yeah.
I'm like asleep.
My name's Robert. I didn't really go anywhere this summer, so I guess highlight would just be spending time with my family and writing music.
I'm Kenzie, and probably going to Puerto Rico. That was my favorite trip of the summer.
Great. Okay, so we'll start with the drink of the month. It has lavender and cardamom in it, and we're going to call it the Shooting Star. So I'm going to let Robert talk about why we're naming it that.
So this is kind of like a throwback flavor for me, something that just was like my introduction to the coffee world beyond like daily driver coffee shops. When I was a teenager, it was like something that was at a local coffee shop, and it just really introduced me to like, it just kind of opened up possibilities for what coffee could be, because I just didn't know that you could do stuff like that. So for me, like, I call it the Shooting Star because it was something that kind of sent me on a journey of discovery.
I'll tell you what, it's good though. I think mine's
you
almost,
like it?
Mine's almost gone.
Nice.
Good.
Awesome. I
Um,
could say more, but that's all I'll say.
Okay, so we'll jump right in some seasonal updates. So the pumpkin timeline will most likely be set mid-September. Okay, we were going to finish out August. We'll probably start a batch of that this week and make sure everything tastes fine, and we're good to go with all of that stuff. We'll have 3 new sandwiches that probably have to do with pumpkin. And then we'll be doing the spiced pumpkin latte that can be iced or hot. We'll do spiced cider. That will be whenever Masonic has it available. So we're just on their timeline. Hopefully that's mid-September, but last year I think it went longer. We'll have the spiced cider until winter, like until December, and then we'll switch to eggnog and do eggnog drinks. We're gonna do a pumpkin smoothie, and we'll do the jack-o'-lantern. And we're doing what? The Williams House. That's what we decided. We will have pumpkin scones, and we're going to do a pumpkin protein bite. And then we'll probably try a few different things, maybe a pumpkin cookie or mini pumpkin pies or pumpkin cheesecake, something like that. Those are some options that I've seen. So we'll have like one other seasonal thing with that. Okay. Does anyone have questions about seasonal updates? Okay. And we also call it spiced pumpkin. Okay. So that's what gets written on cups. We are not pumpkin spice lattes. We don't do PSL. Okay. Ours is made with real pumpkin puree. So we make ours. It's just probably, I mean, nothing really in language, but that's just what we call it.
Okay.
So we want to keep it that verbiage. Okay, I was going to say something else about. Oh, so you can communicate to customers. I'm sure they'll be asking if we have pumpkin. If we have a batch, then I don't care. Like, we can do, like, if people are asking, we can do it until we're out of it. We may just keep making it at that point. I don't know. I'll communicate all of that with you guys. But we probably won't switch out the menus until about mid-September. Okay. Okay. Policy updates. Okay, so this is just a reminder. Sunday meetings are mandatory. You should be requesting those off if you can't be here. Okay, I treat them just like shifts. So if they're not requested off, you can get written up for that. They're important. They're when we can see each other and we can go over all of this stuff in person. Okay. Fall dress code. The biggest thing is just outerwear. I would prefer plain, whatever. If you're gonna wear like a sweatshirt the entire shift, your sleeves have to be able to be rolled up. If you're on food, they can't just be dangling, and it should be plain black. Okay, if you're gonna wear the sweatshirt the entire time. If it's just something that you're having on because it's cold outside in the mornings, then I'm more lenient on that. I would just prefer a darker material. And then jeans should just not have huge holes in them. Okay. I don't want to see a whole bunch of skin. We should just keep that modest as well. Okay, we went over this last time, but just as a reminder, again, some of this stuff I'm just going to repeat because we have new staff. So bringing in your own product or customers like wanting us to put their food in their own to-go container or whatever, we can't do that. Okay, we can put a drink. Food is different than drink. We can put a drink in a to-go mug, but we can't like take somebody's container back and put their food in it. They can take it, like we can put it on a plate and they can package it if they want to, but we can't take their plate back there. Okay. And same with, like, you guys should not be bringing in protein or your own milk or whatever. Like, you should ask me those questions first. Stuff has to be done differently. And we can't just have everybody's stuff up behind the bar. Okay, that's all, like, food safety stuff. Okay, time off requests. Time off requests need to be done 30 days in advance. Okay, guys, I'm going to start sticking to the policies that I go over at orientation because I have to have boundaries and they're not being followed. And it creates a whole bunch of stress for me. I'm managing 20 of you guys and I'm just one person. Okay, so when you're requesting time off, that should be done 30 days in advance and you should be putting in a reason why. So that way I understand why you are asking off for that time. Not just like vacation, but I mean, you can say vacation, but there should be a comment in the note box so I know what's going on. It's a first come, first serve basis. So if all of my baristas requested off the same day, then what I do is I'll put it out to the whole group. So that way, if anybody can be flexible, we can figure it out together. But if not, then the last 2 people or whatever I need that requested off would be denied. Okay. I do the best that I can to give you guys time off. I really do. For the most part, I don't think anyone has hardly been denied time off, but I still have to run this place. I can't do it if people can't work, and I can't hire 40 people so everybody can only work 1 day a week. That doesn't make any sense for me, and it's just a ton more work on my end. And so I'm just gonna do the best that I can to function within those things. If something came up and the schedule is not posted, you are welcome to communicate with me. And if it works, then it works. But that's what should be happening. Okay, request off should be done 30 days in advance. Okay, social media. This is also just a reminder. You guys should not be posting or being on first of all, phones should not be up here unless you're a lead. Okay, so unless I've communicated with you that it's appropriate for you to have your phone up here so you can contact me, you should not have your phones upstairs behind the bar, and then you should not be posting on social media, your own social media, while you're working. Okay, if you're taking break, that's fine, whatever. But like when we're slow, that doesn't mean you guys, my lead should be scrolling Instagram and whatever. Okay, that's not. I don't want to be that coffee shop. It is the most annoying to me when I walk into a place and staff is on their phone. So that's not what I want to do here. Okay, I want us to be attentive, and I think we do a good job with that. So I want to keep that up. Okay, and then this just kind of goes around a little bit more around boundaries for myself. I think you guys do a great job being flexible and picking up shifts as needed. I think you all are, good teammates, and everybody jumps in to help wherever it's necessary. I think, again, I'm just one person and trying to manage 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. hours, and always having to be on. Just because I'm not here in this building, I'm still available to you guys and need to be. That is the reality of owning a business. But I am going to start putting some kind of boundaries around that. So unless it's some kind of an emergency, I will get my leads more equipped if that's what needs to happen, so that you guys can function without me. Again, I think everyone does a pretty good job with that. But I'm not going to respond to home-based messages that aren't necessary unless that's Monday, through Friday, at 8 to 4 or something like that. Unless it's again, an emergency. So if we have to figure something out quickly with shifts or something like that, none of that stuff should be waiting for me either. If you have a shift need, you can post that in the shift communication group always. That's why we have that, and then you can communicate with me separately, and then we'll figure it out. I think that again, I really want to help build in I'm just one person, and you guys, it's just your issue. But if it's everybody's issue, while I was on vacation, 3 different people were communicating that they had to change their schedule, which is super stressful for me. We're already in a place of transition. This always happens at the end of summer, going into fall. We lose our summer staff, and we have a ton of people applying, because that's what happens when we get into the fall. But it just takes time. There's transition in that. Summer's hard because everyone wants vacation. I did the best that I could to overhire so we wouldn't feel it this year, and then people's schedules changed without communication in that. 2 weeks is not a lot of time. I know that's the standard that people give, but 2 weeks is not a lot of time to do interviews and then hire people and have them trained up before somebody leaves. So it really that means then the team feels that, right? And I take that stuff seriously, super seriously. And I care about you guys, and I know life happens for you, and I don't want to feel stressed out with that. So creating boundaries for myself means that I can show up in a better way and care for you guys well. And that's what my biggest desire is to not be frustrated because someone's availability is changing, and wasn't in whatever way that I needed it to be, because that's not realistic, right? I understand those things, but without me creating boundaries in that can't happen. So just try to remember those things. Again, if it's an emergency, then you should be calling on the phone, and we can, as I continue to think through that and what that needs to look like and how I can best, I will not leave you guys in a bind. That's not my heart in that at all. My heart is just that I can show up better for you guys and not be so stressed out, and just hope that you guys can remember I'm just one person. So choosing when you tell me stuff matters. You don't have to tell me something when I'm on vacation if it's something that can wait, or how you choose to tell me that. All of those things matter in that, and will help communication be better. I also do really appreciate you guys, so I want to make sure that that's coming across. This is super hard for me to communicate because I just want to do it well, and I want to support you guys well, but also have to be able to show up with capacity for that. Okay, was that in it? Okay. Again, I do want to reiterate, I think that we do have a really good team. If you guys feel differently, then you should be telling me that, but I do think that everybody really shows up well for each other, and I want that to continue. I can't just be here. Unfortunately, that's not I have a child, so I can't just, and he's not in a stage where I can just show up and not have to chase him all around. I can take orders, but that's even getting hard in this phase of time. It won't always be that. It won't always look like that, but that is the reality I am in right now. So I really have to be able to count on my staff, and I can. I really have been blessed by the people that I've hired and how people choose to show up in that, and you guys have done that well. Okay, is there any questions about policy stuff that I just went over? Okay. Okay, so I'm just gonna jump into some training stuff. Okay, Groff's orders, that's something that Dakota will typically take care of, but you guys should not be unaware of. If Dakota's off, that means somebody has to handle it, okay? And that would generally fall on the food person because you guys are seeing it. I've revamped the order form, so it should include all of the things that we get, even seasonal stuff, so that should make it a little bit easier for you guys to know, and then it also includes what we should have in stock, okay? I should have brought one up here, but you would basically check everything that you have in stock that's on that order form and figure out what you need to order from that. So minusing from what we're supposed to have in stock to what you actually counted on hand. Okay, so that's the difference. On hand is what we physically have. In stock is what we should have. And then what you're going to order is in stock minus on hand. Okay, makes sense? That's how the paper is laid out.
Do you want me to go down and grab a sheet?
You can. We can show
Yeah.
everybody. And then you just call Groff's. So that number is on the order form. I put it on the order form, and you can also Google it. And then you would just call Groff's and place the order, tell them who you are, that you're ordering for Folklore, and then we have checks downstairs. If I'm here, I should sign them. You should be communicating. I'm trying to leave some sign for you guys. If that's not done, then the lead should sign for that, and that should be communicated to me, so I know if the bank challenges something, I know what was happening, okay? You write the check out, that's detailed. There's an example check there, so you follow that. You always bring the receipt back, and you always staple the receipt to the check form, okay? Cheeses are left up here under the food fridges, and they should have on the bags, they should have the expiration date written on. Yeah, okay. And the same with the meats. The meats, whoever unpacks the meats should be putting the expiration date on those meats as well. And they should be labeling it turkey or ham and then putting the expiration date on those. So that way, whenever it's getting prepped, that expiration date is being used to prep, because we're not freezing it. So it needs to be accurate to when we bought it. Otherwise, meat will get slimy and smelly, okay? So we can't be guessing when somebody ordered that, or are we pulling first in, first out? All of that stuff needs to be labeled correctly, okay?
Wait, are you talking about labeling the bags of turkey and bags of ham right now?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Just want to make sure what I missed.
Yes, yeah. That means, so if you're not here and they order it for whatever reason, then you know how to prep it.
Yep.
Or if you order it and somebody else needs to prep it, you guys know what expiration date. Also, we're not getting turkey and ham mixed up, right? Ham is darker than turkey. It's a much pinker color. Sometimes they can look very similar because we get Groff's, they process it themselves. So we get their turkey, their smoked turkey, all of that stuff. So it can look similar in color. So you just want to make sure it does smell different too. But you want to make sure you're getting the right stuff, and then you're putting the right stuff on the sandwiches. People know that stuff. Some people can't have ham because it's kosher. Okay, so that nobody has good customer service anymore. So they get angry, right? So we get reviews about that stuff instead of someone just communicating, and we can fix the error. And it's especially frustrating when we're sending orders out of here. So those ones, you really want to make sure you're paying attention to DoorDash and pickups and that sort of thing.
I do have one question about this. The order on ham on the top's 12, while the order on ham on the bottom
Oh,
is 10.
whoops, that's a mix-up.
Okay.
I'll fix that. Sorry.
Because that's on all the sheets?
Yes, it is.
So,
Yeah, I'll fix it.
Something I noticed too is that with the ham, the rind, if the meat itself looks the same, the rind is like a reddish, darker hue.
it's also a
It's
lot
a-
tougher.
Yes, it's thicker.
Turkey
Yeah.
crumples apart in the thing.
Yes.
That's normally why when you see them
Usually it's
packaged in
dry.
there, they're a
Yeah.
lot more crumpled up than while the ham's more folded.
Good things to point out. Okay, so it makes sense. Quantity on hand is what we physically have, and this is what we should be ordering. This is what we should have in stock, and this is what we should be ordering. Okay, some of the seasonal stuff, it says that seasonal soup meat, which would be our sausage right now that's going in the Italian wedding soup, okay, stuff like that. Lebanon bologna will come, I forget what sandwich that's in right now, but summer?
Yeah, that was summer. We're done with it.
Okay, not fall. I think we did it in the fall and then just didn't switch it over right away. I forget which one. It's
we
fine.
just finished Lebanon bologna.
Okay, it's fine. But the rest of the stuff we should have in. The cheddar, 5-pound logs of cheddar should be ordered for the mac and cheese, and then we should be shredding that and getting it put in the freezer. Okay, so that if you're checking that and Dakota's not here, either omit that or make sure you know that you're finishing out that process. It should be put into 1-pound portions and then frozen in the freezer in 5 bags. Okay, so that then we can easily pull those portions out and keep moving. And the cheese doesn't go bad. Sometimes we don't go through it fast enough and it can get moldy, so that avoids that as well. Okay, meat portions. This is also now written downstairs. So you guys can easily remember it. Meat, turkey, and ham both are 2-ounce portions. They should be weighed on the scale every one.
2 or 3?
You said 2. Should it be? We normally are weighing them to 3. Should it be 2?
Yes, salmon is 2 ounces,
Oh, I mixed them
Salmon
and
up on
all
here.
the other meat
Sorry.
is 3.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I was gonna say, wait.
Sorry. Yes. Okay. So meat is 3 ounces. That's what you wrote
Yeah,
down.
ham and
Yeah.
Ham and turkey
It's
is
correct
3, salmon
downstairs.
is 2.
Salmon's less, yes.
2 or 1? I believe
2.
It's
Two.
2.
Yes,
Okay.
it's 2. 1 is too small.
Okay.
It's 2 portions. And when salmon comes, that should be portioned out immediately and put in the freezer portioned out, not frozen and then pulled out and then refrozen. Okay, we want to, when that stuff comes in, we want to get it portioned right away. Okay. Okay, and then back to the labeling food. Everything should have an expiration date when it comes to food. Okay, that includes going in the freezer. The freezer you can put made date or what? Yeah, that's fine. Portion date. I don't care how you write that, but you should make that clear, like it's today's date. That way, when we get it pulled out, we're doing 7 days from there because it's frozen. Okay, but everything else should have the 7-day expiration date, and then you should make sure that you're pulling things correctly, first in, first out. So look around. Okay, the other day I went in the walk-in and there was a milk pulled from this 4 carton on the floor, and there was a milk pulled from this 4 carton up top. That should not be happening. All the milk should be coming out of 1 carton because they would package it that way. All the same expiration dates should be in here, okay, in the same carton. Typically, we would get the same expiration date for milk in the same order, but we aren't running out of milk, or shouldn't be running out of milk by the time we get the new order. We should at least have 1 carton left or something like that, okay? So that one should always go first and being pulled from first. That would include any of the stuff, apples, tomatoes, vegetables, any of those things. Whenever you, Dakota, are putting those orders away, you should be positioning them that way, okay? It could be the cleaners.
And then I have a question.
Yes.
What should we do when something goes past the sell-by date? Because normally,
Is that a cleaner?
Hi.
Hi.
We're closed today.
Okay.
Yep. Sorry about that.
because normally you just pour it out and put it down, and either pour it out or you'd write it down and tell the boss. What do we do here whenever something goes past its sell-by date?
If we've gone past this sell-by date, that's different than the expiration date. Okay, so things can be labeled differently. Sell-by is different than expiration date. So you guys would just communicate that to me, and we would probably check. If it's an unopened gallon of milk, probably we'll open it, smell it, and if it froths fine, if it steams fine, then we'll use it because it's sell-by, not expiration date. So you usually have more time after that.
No, it sounds
That's
good.
usually the difference between sell-by is just take it home date. And then, but you can still use it after that. If we are trashing stuff, you guys should be communicating that, okay? So if it's like expired and you're throwing it out, that should be communicated in home base to me so that way I can keep track of that, okay? that also helps us know, like, you should be telling Dakota that as well if you guys are trashing it, because then he knows he needs to make something, and maybe that's immediately. You know, Dakota, you should be checking expiration dates and freshness when you're doing your stock lists. Okay. Your turkey and ham, all of that stuff should have a T and an H on your prep bins, okay, and the expiration date. That's how that should be, okay. That would be, you can do the same thing for spinach, bib lettuce, whatever. Like, all of that stuff should be labeled. It should be idiot proof for you guys, so you know what you're pulling from. Then there's no confusion up here, okay. Okay. The white cutting boards should be left out to dry, okay? They should not be getting put back on the food fridges at night. They should be left across, they can fit across, right? They should just be left across the counters.
And they both come out. The salad fridge one does come out.
And should they need, I'm gonna get a scrub brush for that. I just have to find one. But I'm gonna get a new scrub brush so we can be scrubbing that better. For now, you should use the green scrubbies. That's what you should be using to get those boards cleaned off well, okay? And get new ones. Don't keep using scrubbies that don't work, that are done for. That's the same in the glass bottles, okay? When your green scrubbies are just falling into the jar, they should be thrown in the trash, right? They're not actually getting stuff clean anymore. So get new ones shoved down in there, okay? We have 3 boxes of those things, and we cut them in half, and I think we cut them in half again to get them in the jars. So there's no reason, like, don't use it until it's disgusting. Like, just get a new one so we're actually cleaning stuff. The tops of those glass jars should also, like, scrub them, okay? There should be no residue left in those bottles. If you've scrubbed it and it's really not coming clean, then you can communicate that. Like, put it on my desk with a note or something like that, and I can look at it, and then if I need to trash it, I will. They can get to that point as well. You shouldn't just throw those out with communicating that either. If one breaks, again, communicate that stuff, because we use those for orders. So if I now have no more bottles left and I didn't know that in advance, then I'm short on what I need to fulfill the orders for other people. Okay, discounts. So I just want to go over the discounts that we have in the POS. So we do a student discount. That's any student, okay? They need to show their ID. That is what needs to happen. The only time they don't is if you've rung out the same person 5 times and you know that they're a student. I'm going to ask that person to see their ID because I don't know them, okay? So I'm not just going to assume that Kenzie has seen them 5 times and they're a student. So if you're not here that often and you're not sure, then you would just communicate, can I see your ID, okay? And you can communicate that to them, like, hey, I don't have to see your ID today because I know you. But if someone else is new, they're going to ask for that, right? You can tell the customer that so they're not frustrated with me when I ask to see their ID. If they said they've left it in their car, well, you can go get it. I'm not just giving out discounts for telling me that you have one, okay? So that's up to them if they want to go do that. Again, if it's the same regular customer, you don't have to make them get it out. But make sure you're communicating, like, I don't need to see it again, but other staff will ask you for that. We have a sign up for the eTown students. I'll probably take that down in a few weeks once new students know that. But again, we do that, like, high schoolers can show their ID, that's fine. I think it's a 10% discount. The employee drink discount, when you guys are getting your employee drink, you should be using that discount code, okay? You guys should be this is the only time you can ring yourselves out, but you can ring yourselves out for the employee drink. That way you can put the ticket on the counter and whoever can make the drink, okay? That also, I can run reports on that, and then I know what product is being used faster. Okay, so like if everyone's getting the same drink all the time, I don't have any way to track that, and then I don't realize I need more stuff and it's gone. Okay,
Like our
because
shift drink that we
your
get?
shift drink,
Oh.
yes, yeah, that should all be wrung out. I also have been doing birthday cards for you guys, and then you get a free lunch on us as well, and that should be rung out under employee birthday. Okay, I leave that in you guys' in bin, so that's where you would get that, and someone else should ring you out for that. Okay, bottle refills, that is for chai. Okay, so when they bring their little 12 ounce, it's more than that, 16 ounce bottle back, we can refill that for them, okay? And then they get a discount for that. I want to be clear in this. We cannot take their bottles back. I mean, we can, but they need to go into the trash. We can't reuse them. We don't know what they did with them at home. None of that stuff, okay? So that's different than, you know, we provide caramel and chai for Hitch. We take their bottles back because they're commercial, okay? So theirs is going and functioning within the food safety protocols, but when you take it home, I have no idea what you've now done with that bottle at home, what you put in it. You could put flowers in it. I can't take that back. We can't wash that, and we can't resell that to the consumer, okay? That's the difference in that. That's food safety stuff, not my rules. So we can take it back. It doesn't have to be the big deal with the customer, but if they want us to take it back because we'll reuse it, just explain that. Like, we can't reuse it. So if you have a use for it, please keep it. You know, if not, we can't use it.
So if we're refilling their chai bottle, we can't use the bottle that we gave them originally?
Yes,
To refill
if
it?
we're
Okay.
refilling it. I'm saying
Oh, we
they
can't.
cannot give us the
Just
bottle
give it back
back.
to have.
Yes,
Okay,
some people
got it.
will
I
bring
just
them back in
wanted-
and say, can you take these and reuse them? And we
Right,
cannot.
right.
Yeah,
Okay, got
but
it.
they get
That
the
makes
bottle
sense.
refill if they bring their
That
bottle
would just
back.
be different. I was gonna say,
You
did
got
we
it.
give them a new one for a refill?
No,
Okay, that makes
no.
sense.
You should not. If they want a new one, they can pay for a new one, but they don't get
Right.
the discount then.
Yeah.
Okay. You also, that should be like, you should fill it a 1/2 inch from the top of the spout, okay? We want to try to make sure that we're all doing it the same. That way customers aren't saying, well, last time it was filled more than this, okay? We should all be filling it the same. They say that stuff. I've had that happen.
Like right where it tapers.
Yes.
They do. I worked
Yes.
at a
Well,
barbecue
then come back and just
restaurant.
get
We
it.
sold growlers,
Yes.
which are just those bottles
Right.
but bigger.
Yes.
And there was a specific line that you filled it to.
Yes, exactly. So you guys should be trying to do the same thing. Okay, when I have interviews, we offer them a drink as well. They can have a drink to come in for an interview. You would just there's a discount for that. You just hit the interview button, and it prints out the sheet. Military discounts, we do those. I believe that's also 10%, maybe 15. That one they can just show their ID. If they come dressed in military clothes, you can just give them that discount. Okay, you don't have to ask.
Oh.
Most likely, military people won't tell you that they're military. So if it's clear that they are, then you can just give them the discount. We want to honor that, okay? I've had people that have wanted to pay for somebody's orders after the fact. You guys can do that. Just refund it to the person's card, and then ring it out again and have the other person. That's fine. We can do it that way. And then however that plays out, if you feel like you need to communicate to that person, you can tell them, because they'll be getting a refund on their card. Okay, so they'll be seeing weird stuff happening. So that would be why you would communicate. And then lastly, Public Square. So that is an app that businesses can exist on that basically have all the same core values. Okay. If you don't know about it, you can look it up, but we subscribe or whatever to those core values that they have. And if they come in and show you, like we're on the app, they get a discount for that. So you would pick Public Square for that. So you guys should just be aware of that. They would just show you like, oh, I found you on Public Square. And then I think they can just click on us and it would show you the discount that they should get. But that's a discount name in the POS as well. And you would just use that. Okay. Okay, any questions about those items? Okay. At the end, I added fridge locks, so they're like child-proofing locks, to the one fridge downstairs. I'm going to take you
Thank
guys
you.
down and show you how they work, okay? That way the doors don't keep opening, and we're not trying to keep them closed with tape, okay? That will ruin all the product in them.
Freezer one, like
Yes,
sausage? Oh my
yes.
gosh.
Correct.
I've
You
got
still
tape
can't
for that.
overstuff that,
Right.
but it just, the door isn't staying, the seal isn't working well. So I got locks for them, so I'll take you down and show you how those work. Okay, so just day-to-day information. So communication, making sure you guys are always communicating. You should not leave without checking in with the next shift. And really, you should check in with the barista and make sure everything is good to go. They know food and drink. and are going to double check the checklist, you know, all of those things. So you guys should be double checking with them. Prep, you should do the same, Dakota. Like, you should pop up and check in with whoever the drink lead is and make sure everybody is good to go before you just jet out of here.
That's what I always do. That's
yes.
why you normally see I'm leaving about an hour later, because I'm trying to make sure that everything's up to date,
Yes.
everything's done, it's clean down there,
Yeah.
all that.
Right. So again, like, even baking, they're baking in the night, but if you know, Jenna, you're here during the day, you can just let them know that you're leaving. They should really be doing the same if their hours are different or whatever. So that way you guys know what's happening in this building. If we're running low on something, that needs to be communicated to the barista, okay? We're still lacking on that, guys. So it's super important, especially food, because you don't just have your phones up there with you. Write it. That's what the notepads are for. Write it down. Have a notepad in your apron pocket. Write it down. That way you can communicate with the barista. That's the thing you should check before you leave. Check your notepad. Like, oh, right, I was supposed to communicate. I pulled, you know, the almost to last whatever cups. I think a lot of that can get lost in, like, you're going down to restock food and Kenzie says, hey, can you bring me up a sleeve of cups? Okay, well, Kenzie didn't see that it was the second to last sleeve of cups and you're not communicating that, right? So I think that's where some of that can get lost, but you have to communicate those things, guys. Otherwise, I'm spending my days running around in a panic because we can't run out of stuff like that, right? So it matters. Disposable tea bags, like those things, I can't just magically make them show up. So make sure that you're communicating when we're running low on that stuff. Again, you just need to communicate with the barista and they'll communicate in the group chat that we have. And so that way I can see that stuff. That includes prep stuff too. You know, like, okay, we're low on, you should, if Dakota's here, now that he's here, you guys should be communicating with him. And as long as you've communicated directly with him, he'll add it to his list. You don't need to put it in the group chat. But if he's not, if it's second shift, then you should be communicating that stuff. So that way, Dakota will be seeing that stuff and he should be checking that in the morning. Okay. I don't want to run out of stuff. Baking right now is what's difficult until we get that situated. So it's going to be sporadic, and that's just the reality of that for now. If customers are asking, you can just communicate, like, we're just looking for a new baking person. And so it's sporadic right now. Okay. But what comes with that is the syrups, lavender, blueberry, rosemary. So you guys should, again, drink persons should be communicating that. That way I can show that to Dakota and he can help with that in the in-between. Usually the baking person takes care of that. Syrups are usually simple, so they can just be added in, okay? We are going to keep the lavender syrup upstairs under the bar, okay? So if you can't restock from the walk-in with lavender, you should be communicating that. That way we should always have one up here that's full, just like we do the other syrups. Make sense? Okay, blueberry rosemary cannot be that because it has to be kept cold. So the blueberry rosemary, well, if you don't have any in the walk-in, you should be communicating that. Okay. We'll stop making blueberry rosemary. We'll probably do one more batch to get through this week and stop that at we'll do it until we switch out the board. Probably to the pumpkin stuff. Okay, so mid-September is when we'll stop blueberry rosemary, and we'll also stop lavender with that. We'll stop lavender at the end of September because the employee drink will go through September, okay? But it just won't be in other drinks on the board. Okay, and then just a reminder, again, we went over this last time, but helping customers, making sure that they feel like they're the priority, okay? You should be smiling at them, tell them you'll be right with them, all of that stuff. If we're going to get Dakota trained up here on food as well, so that way he can pop up here if needed, especially in this in-between of summer to fall and whatever that's going to look like. He'll be able to run and do those things, so you would communicate with Dakota. We'll go over how that looks like for flow for you. But that's what we don't want. And you can communicate with me too. Like, again, if I have to pop over with Finn and take orders, I can at least be doing that. I just need to know those things. The other thing that I want to make sure that we're doing, so if, like, I'm just going to give you this example of what happened to me down at the beach. So we went to the beach all day long. Finn was already done and tired. We stopped to get ice cream. I got him a milkshake, put him down, gave him the milkshake. He tripped and fell, spilled the milkshake all over the floor. End of the world. Wanted more. the girls were awful, like angry that they had to clean up the mess to begin with. The girl disappeared, was taking out trash, didn't offer, like, can I make you a new one? Is he okay? Like, none of those things happened. And had there been someone that looked like they were in charge, I would have told them about it. But that was not the case. The girl that actually helped me looked just as terrible. Like, I didn't make you guys show up to work today. Please don't look like that. Like, I know you guys have personal stuff and I know life happens, but when you show up here, I want to serve the customer well. Like, we have lost, not we as in us, but like the community, the society has lost good customer service. And so when you see, I'm giving you guys the authority, when those things happen, give them a free drink. That's not going to, break the business to care for somebody well that way. Okay, right? It's already like, the child's upset, the person's embarrassed, like all of that stuff is true. If a DoorDasher spills the drink in their car, the DoorDasher needs to pay for that drink, okay? That's not our fault, right? If it's not something that, like, if they trip over our rug, again, then we would offer to, like, remake the drink or something like that. And you can always offer before just remaking it, so that way, like, if it was almost empty, I forget who talked about that last time, but that was the case. Like, their drink was almost empty and they didn't want another one, but we can still offer those things. Okay, that's the kind of place I want to be. Like, I want to care for people well and not seem angry about an accident that happened. And that's the same with, like, just communicating well to the customer. That we had a review about that a couple weeks ago, where they were just mad because the barista communicated we would be right with them, and then they went back to doing what they were doing, and then someone else waited on them, which means you guys did what you were supposed to do. But
How dare a different person help you sooner? Like,
right. But the grilled cheese was not done well either. So making sure, like, you guys are microwaving grilled cheeses, like, the cheese needs to be melted. She, like, posted a picture of it as well, and it was not, like, it just did not look good. So making sure, again, that you microwave that grilled cheese before just putting it on the panini grill. That way stuff is melted through. When you're putting out food, does it look like something I would want to eat? Right? Like, that's the attitude you guys should have when you're putting it out the door, not just like, okay, get to the next place, but like, you've placed it, does it look good? And then move on to the next order. And sometimes that's just education with customers too. Like, good, my employees did what they needed to do, and also you don't see the back end of it, right? Like, you guys are busy putting out orders that are online, that are DoorDash. Like, she wasn't ignored. What was done was what was supposed to happen happened. All of those things, and that's what matters to me most. Like, that you guys said, I'll be right with you. And just walking with haste whenever even if it's just one person waiting in line, still walking with haste, because they see a not busy shop, but they don't understand that we might have just done, $400 worth of DoorDash orders, and we've been really busy with that. They don't know that. They just see one person coming in and taking orders out, and so just still walking with haste in that when you guys are going back and forth. That is the thing that drives me up the wall when I walk into a place. Like, you just had a line of like 10 people and you don't even care. Like, you're walking like you're not even at work today, so like, just making sure that they can feel that you're moving quickly and trying to get stuff done.
You have to always look like you're busy, even if you're not busy.
Correct.
I
Yes.
swear, if they can't see it, they should be able to hear it with the DoorDash. I think you can hear it from out here. It's a crazy sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
And it
You
drives me
can.
up a wall if I don't
But
like, hit the button.
You can, but you also have to realize
Oh yeah, they
that
don't. Okay.
nobody knows who that is. For me,
Yeah.
when I came in, I was like, "What's that sound?"
Oh yeah.
Unless you've probably
That's true,
worked
I
with
guess.
it, they
Right.
they aren't
I
recognizing.
know,
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It is, it's definitely a whole new dynamic. Like, these days with DoorDash, just the company's being like slammed and nobody's even in there.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, sometimes that does make the difference, guys. Like, I know DoorDash probably isn't the favorite thing, but like, there are days we're doing $500 worth of DoorDash orders, and that's a big deal. Like, that makes a difference, especially if it's a slower day in here, which makes sense if people are ordering out or whatever. Like, This is just what our lives are now.
I think statistically it was like noted that it's like a 60% increase in sales for like the average business.
Right.
It's a
DoorDash.
60%
Yeah.
revenue increase if you have online ordering.
Right.
Just in general.
Yes. Okay, produce, again, just another reminder, watch for bugs. We get produce that has no pesticides on it. So always, like Dakota, you should be doing a good job of cleaning it. And then, yes, and then our guys, as you're putting sandwiches out, making salads, make sure you're looking at that stuff. If they find someone the other day, I forget who it was, they had a spider in their salad or
Yeah,
something
there's-
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's not like, it's not,
It's hard to miss sometimes, or it's hard.
yes.
hard to say.
So we just offer to make them a new one or make them something else. You know, like that just is like, oh, I'm sorry, we use produce that doesn't have pesticides on it. You know, like sometimes that can happen. We really apologize for that. What else can I get you? Can I make you another salad and I'll, you know, sort through it better? Or can I make you a sandwich or something like that? Okay, like telling them that we're not putting chemicals on our salads helps people to understand. And then also with salads, making sure you're not putting wilty spinach or wilty spring mix. Like, again, that should be thrown out. Pay attention to that stuff. Like, people are going to be more extra than what you are. So if you don't think you would eat it, then certainly do not serve that. And if you're not sure, probably you shouldn't serve it then. Okay, like it's not about, well, I don't want to waste this product. It's about making sure the customer is getting something good. No one wants slimy lettuce. That's gross. Okay, notepads I briefly touched on, but the notepads up here, I've gotten more notepads there so that you guys can be making sure you're writing down running low stuff. Dakota, there, okay. That's what you guys should use those for. You can use them for your restock, you know, all of that stuff. Do not be taking receipt paper. That's a lot of money. Notepads are way cheaper than what receipt paper is, so please do not pull out receipt paper to write notes or leave messages or whatever. We have message forms for a reason, so make sure you're filling those out in their entirety as well.
Where are the notebooks? Because I don't know where they are downstairs.
They might all be up here.
Okay.
So you can get one from the basket. I forget. I might have to order
There could be
more.
an extra box by the receipt paper and
I
stuff
don't
on the
think
last shelf,
not.
but if not,
I
it'll be
got
up
them
here.
somewhere
yeah.
else.
I'll make
Yeah.
sure to take a look.
I think we found them, but I don't remember. Okay, and then always make sure that you're knotting the trash bags out here, especially. Okay, that wasn't done. So just make sure. It makes it very difficult, especially if they slide in and people keep throwing trash in them, then you guys have a mess to clean up at the end. So just when you're restocking those bags, make sure you're knotting them. And all of those circle trash cans, I can already tell that one is done incorrectly. They all have grooves. There's handles on those trash cans and the lids fit on the handle. If you put it in that way, the bag is less likely to slip in. It's designed to be that way. So take the time and find the groove and put them back on correctly. Okay? Okay, the other thing that we'll be doing is price increases on the menu. Okay, my hope is to have that all done tomorrow and have new menus out tomorrow. We have not done price increases for 2 years. Okay, so if you hear from customers, that's what you can communicate. We've held off as long as we could. We cannot survive anymore with inflation. Okay, so, and say that, like, you need to tell the customers, like, yeah, you know, we haven't had price increases for 2 years. I'm sorry. We're really just matching what everybody else is doing at this point and recouping our costs. Things have really just gone up that much. I doubt we'll hear anything about it, but we may. And that's okay. Then don't come out to eat. I can't do anything except make sure that we're above our costs. Otherwise, what are we doing here, right? But the way that you guys choose to communicate with customers matters. So telling them we haven't done this for 2 years, we're just trying to keep up with inflation, just like everybody else, we're doing the best that we can. We're still lower than most places. We might be comparable with Whisk, but I think our coffee is 50 cents less than what Prince Street is doing and Square One and all of that down in Lancaster City, okay? So again, just most of our seasonal stuff has been kept up with, obviously, because it's seasonal, but the menu stuff is going to be updated. Then it will probably look a little bit different as well. we're gonna combine some of the drink sizes stuff to make that look a little bit more user friendly. Okay, does anyone have questions about the day today? Okay. Second Friday is coming up. It will be September the 13th, so Friday the 13th. They're going to do a fall theme, so it'll be Welcome to the Spooky Season. So we'll be participating in that. Yeah. And I forget what October is. It's something.
They want it
Is
to
it
be spooky
Beetlejuice?
again.
Yeah. It'll be
Hopefully
something
not.
like that. It's more themed, but I can't remember what the theme is. It's something. But anyhow, we'll be doing that scavenger hunt. I believe we should have Jazz again. We need a new artist. It's still Barb Keener. I don't have any. Yes. She does a great job. She like switches out her artwork, so she makes it easy to freshen things up. But still, like, I just haven't had anybody sign up.
My wife actually was interested in that. So
Okay.
did she just do something online?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I can send it to you. What we typically do is on second Friday, we do like a meet and greet with the artists. So they're usually here during the second Friday stuff. And then we keep their art until the next second Friday is usually how we do it. And just like that, guys, if you know people who are artists or who would want to have their artwork up here, send them my way. Give them my email address. They can email me and we can get the form sent out. I mean, you guys kind of know the style we have in here. It has our core values on the form. So like if they don't fit into those, then usually they won't apply or whatever.
No creepy stuff.
Yes. Again, we are not that I want to say no to anybody, but like we're family oriented. And so that's like, I'm not going to put witchcraft up there. That's not what I'm trying to have here. So I try not to be borderline with those things. So anyhow, we'll see. If we're going to switch out an artist for September, I'll communicate that to you guys. Labor Day, we're going to close at 2. So you guys saw that I updated the schedule for that. So my 2 o'clock people will you'll have until 3 to close out. I'll have that posted, and it's already on Google and DoorDash, and Ken's put it on the board for us, and I'll make signs tomorrow to put out on the doors.
How would you prevent people, like, coming in past 2 doors and from
At 2? Yep, that's what you're gonna do. Yeah. I mean, you'll still do, you'll have to see how busy we are. So I guess you would treat it just like 9 o'clock. If there's people in here, you can't lock them in.
Right.
So just do your cleaning stuff, and usually people will start to leave at 2 o'clock. If more people come in, you can judge that. Like if they just want a quick drink, I would tell them, hey, we're closed, but I can make that for you quick. If it's a ton of people, you'll just have to gauge that. Are you on that day, Jenna?
Yeah.
Is it you? Okay. And I think Robert is on food with you. So he can help with that. Like by Monday, he could help make some drinks and whatever. So you could, like, if a group of people came in, you could probably take care of them. And just start your closing early. So start at, 1, 2 o'clock. So that way, like, if that happens, it doesn't feel, I gave you till 3 to close. So you can use that time to kind of, like, get people out.
What day is Labor Day?
Monday.
Monday.
Yes. Yeah. So that way, whatever, if you guys have picnics, and that's what I'm figuring is most people will have picnics and be going to those things in the evening. So then everybody can participate in that stuff. And it just doesn't make sense to go until 4 o'clock. So, we'll see how it goes this year, closing at 2. You guys, Jenna, you can communicate that to me when you're done. Like, hey, it was okay closing at 2. We were slow enough, or I think next year we should go till 4 o'clock. So I can plan well for that. Okay, we're also with the price increases. I'll be updating the new tea costs, and so we'll get closer to getting all of those put out as well. So you guys will continue to see those switched out. I'll probably try to use up as much as we can of the old stuff. We're probably fairly close to that, where all of the drinks are switched out that have them in it. So it's just I think a few, the green teas and that sort of thing. Okay, we're basically done with repairs. That's exciting. I just need to get some stuff painted and follow up on the sign that should be done for the back door. So, yeah, just giving you an update about that.
I like the carpet.
Yes,
It
it
was
looks
like,
nice.
I couldn't tell if it was the lighting or if it was, and then I figured out there was
New carpet. Yes, they redid the entire subfloor.
Yeah,
All of
looks
that
good.
stuff was done. So it should be easier for customers to see, hopefully, with that new, I forget what they call it, but the lip is brass instead of it coming out some. Spencer?
Were you aware that I don't think the vacuum is working?
Yes, Jenna told me that. I need to look at that today.
Oh yes.
Also, that's a good reminder. You guys should make sure you're cleaning that out every night. Okay, so the canister should come off and you should be dumping the dirt out. Even if it's not a lot, every single night do that stuff. Hair and all of that crap gets stuck in that thing. But I'll look at that. That doesn't mean you should not be sweeping. Okay, guys, you use the broom then. If you can't use a vacuum, you sweep off the steps with the broom. And same with this rug. Make sure you're doing the steps at night. All of that stuff should be done. Jenna, are you opening tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay. Cintas needs to bring us a new dry wet mop. Dry mop?
Dry mop.
Dry mop.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do not let those men leave and tell them this is the third week.
Those men.
Or get their card from them or something. Like, you can ask the guy for his card so I can contact him. But he said that he was going to bring it back 2 weeks ago, and they've never done that. That makes you guys' job so much more difficult in the evening time, and I don't want that. So they need to bring that back. I don't know why I'm paying them. Gosh, so annoying. Okay, do you guys have anything that we should be going? Oh, wait, before that. These are the soup lids. Okay, I do not want to see any other lid on the soups except these. Okay, there's a soup in the walk-in.
Where are those?
Well, this wasn't cleaned, and it was in the clean dry racks.
It was okay in the clean dry racks. Was it underneath something?
Yes, that stuff, we'll go over that tomorrow,
Okay.
Dakota, but all of that stuff should have been put away.
Okay.
Anything dry should always be put away before you're adding clean, wet stuff to it.
Okay.
Okay? Jenna, same thing. Like, if you have dry stuff after you're done baking, you should put that stuff away before you just start dishes again. There was a ton down there. I put it all away today. So it's fine. We're going to
Yeah.
go over all of that stuff, and probably the same for you. You didn't know, but all of that stuff should be put away at the end of your shift.
My biggest thing is just trying to figure out where everything goes.
Yes, we'll go over that as well. These will probably always be in use because we only have two, so it's not like we have an extra space that they are somewhere. So they'll probably get washed and then be put right back on.
Okay.
Um,
An extra soup. Do we have those like?
Then
other
Dakota
soup
would be
cans
putting a lid on top of
Right.
those, and
And
you
then
guys would be
change that.
switching it out. Yes.
So when it's up here, it has to have this lid on because it has the lid for the ladle.
Right.
Thank you. Yes. Okay. Yes, Spencer.
Yeah, and I don't know how many people this would apply to, but I'm pretty sure the lips go on the inside of the thing, because some people have been putting it on like the outside.
Yeah, they're always.
Yeah, like those.
Okay.
And then the lid.
Yes.
Yeah.
So everyone understand that? These lips go in the inside. That's what keeps it stable, so you guys can easily open this lid up. Okay. And also, you should be putting the soups in the right one. So the one is labeled Italian wedding soup, and that's one should go in there. Okay. Also, there was a whole nother garden veggie soup down there, and it was communicated on the board over there that we were out of it. Okay. There's a whole new one. Dakota will be making sure. So always make sure you guys are double checking that stuff.
Yes.
That's true. Like, I have been asking you guys, the Greek yogurt. We ran out of vanilla yogurt. I think that was just, they're both from the same brand, but we get them from two different places. So I think Greek yogurt was left in the walk-in, and I didn't realize that. The Greek yogurt, we probably will try to move over to the baking fridge. I'm going to look at all of that tomorrow, and that's where we should keep it. That's less confusing. Greek yogurt cannot be used for parfaits, okay? People are going to complain about that because it's tart, it's not sweet, and that's not what they're expecting for a parfait, okay? So that's why we're out of it. I thought we had an entire case plus two, and I was wrong. It was the Greek yogurt. I'm assuming that's what has happened at this point.
It was two Greek yogurt boxes.
Yes, but some came Thursday because I ordered more.
Okay.
Yes. So, and I don't think we only sold 30 parfaits in the last week. So I think I just was confused at what was sitting there and didn't realize it. But again, like, that should have been communicated before we were out, and that's what happened.
Well, they might
You
have
communicated to me when we were out. Yeah, and we went back and forth, and then I had you double checking stuff because I was super confused because I double checked the order form after we had talked. Yeah. So again, guys, just making sure, like, don't just go down there and look in there. Open boxes, okay? So just look at the stuff in there. Don't just assume. The soups that were down there, lift up the lids, like what is in there. So that stuff should be wiped off the board, all of those things. I don't want to be running out of things, and with Dakota doing prep every day, we should be in a better place with that.
Also, please don't just write things on the board if we're like out of it or low. Can you like tell us that so that we're not confused? Because a lot of times when you have it downstairs, it's just wrong.
Yes, you guys should be communicating. If you're gonna write it on the board, you should have told the barista. So what we can do is the barista should write it on the board, okay? Unless they say, can you write that on the board? Okay, and then that way you guys can double check one last time downstairs and make sure that that is accurate, okay? It's always, I know we don't always have time for that, but it's wise to double check. And then you would be communicating to me, and then that way I can make a decision of like, okay, I can run out and get that for them quick, or I know it's coming tomorrow and it's okay if we're out for this afternoon, okay?
And don't be afraid to tell me if we're out of something and I need to make something. I do not bite.
Yes.
I just tell me so I can get it done.
Yep. Okay, any other things we should go over as a team?
Yes. Those knives down there are not sharp enough.
Okay.
They are not. I
Probably
need new
not.
knives.
They just need to be sharpened.
They just need to be sharpened.
Yes,
But
they do.
the
The problem is we have to send them away.
Yeah, the serrated knives are the only ones I can properly use without and yeah, that's it. That's the only ones I can properly use and cut through without having a headache.
Okay. I will see what I can do for that. That's not how you spell that. Okay. The Folklorian night this month is okay. Any more? Sorry.
I just had a quick question.
Yes.
So, for like receipts from Grops, I've only like picked up one order like once, but I just put it in your inbox. Is that like? or
It
is
gets
that-
stapled. So go back over to the folder with the checks. You staple it to the bottom of the check
Okay.
that you wrote out
So there's
what
like
it was
the
for.
white
Pay stub.
paper, like the
Check
So you
stub.
rip off the top and then the pay stub at the bottom.
Okay.
That
I
you'll
just
write graphs. with the-
Yeah.
Took the whole thing. The
Huh?
graphs.
What?
I can show you.
No, I mean like I was just given the check. I took it over them, but they gave me like a receipt.
Yes, so
then-
that receipt would go, you would take it back downstairs. There's a
There-
folder for checks, and then there's like a check stub.
The
There-
other piece of the paper
Yeah.
that you
Yes,
rip the check off
and then
of.
you staple it to
Okay.
that, and it just slips into the
Yeah,
folder.
I probably should have just asked that.
Yeah,
but
that's
I
okay.
was just
We
like-
can
the
show
check
you.
that you could've just-
I think I stapled it together that
Okay.
day.
Yeah.
I just took it back over. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's fine that you put it in
That
my
was
bin.
me.
Then yeah, that's okay. Always giving the receipts. Also, guys, if you run out and get anything for any reason, write your name on the receipts. Okay, because I forget when I go to do it whose they belong to or if they're just mine or whatever. Okay, so always just make sure you write your names on those so I know who to give what to. Okay. I put those receipts in the drawer, so my people who close, any receipts in the drawer should be stapled. That includes returns. That's the other thing I wanted to remind you guys. If you ever do a return, the receipt, an extra receipt should be printed out, and you should be writing the reason why on that receipt, okay? Please make sure you're doing that stuff. I see those returns come through, and so it helps me know what's going on, and if we need to, like, look into something or do something different or whatever, okay? We don't give out a lot of returns, so that again, it's just like helpful to know what is happening with that stuff. Okay, anything else, Jenna?
Pretty sure we go over this like every single year. But if you pull like if there's like a box downstairs and you pull less than that, please take down the box and put it in like the cardboard because it's really confusing when you go to restock.
Or if there's like one left and it's like a bag of napkins or something, just
It's
put it
just
near
taken
the
out
like
box,
new
yeah.
boxes or whatever. Just it's easier for shelf space too.
And boxes don't just get laid down there, they get put in bigger boxes.
So when you
Oh,
empty out a big box, keep
gonna
it.
say, if we
Even
don't
if
have
it's
the
the
big
first
box,
one, keep it. Fold the flaps in and keep it so that throughout the week you guys can be putting stuff in it. Okay. That I think that's a good thing. Again, like baristas, you guys can be encouraging people whenever they go to leave at shift change. Can you go downstairs and make sure restock looks good? That you got any cardboard boxes? I think last Sunday before I left, I sent a picture of all the boxes that I had to pull out. And some of those boxes were just thrown on the floor out there, empty, thrown on the floor. So nobody, I get it. When we're in rushes, the expectation is not that you, like, that makes sense, right? I'm running and grabbing this thing and I have to get back upstairs and finish this order. That makes sense. But then baristas, you guys should remind people to go back downstairs and check that stuff. We forget, whatever, but that should be a part of whenever you leave. That list is written on the whiteboard back there. You should be communicating. You should be doing your restock. You should be checking outer realm, bathrooms, and then check downstairs and make sure all cardboard and stuff was cleaned up. Okay, put your rags should be being put, not left on your aprons. They shouldn't be put in that basket. I leave that basket so I can take your stuff home and clean it. You should be putting those and hanging them on the rack. Rags should not be used more than one shift. Okay, that's gross. It's dirty. So remember that and just get your rags thrown in the bag. Even if it's dry and barely used, still throw it in the bag or get it on the rack if it's wet. Okay, that's cross-contamination and we can't have that. So aprons should not be hung up with rags on them, and the rags should not be put in a box, in a crate on the floor. Okay, then we have a rack for a reason. Okay, anything else? Okay, Folklorian night is Lillian. She's not here today, but she picked up a lot of shifts the past couple weeks and has really helped out when we've needed her. I think she's diligent and she's hardworking, and I think she has a good attitude whenever she is here. Okay. Just to close up, for our new team members, something that I do, it's important, I should have said this at the beginning, I forgot, but it's important that you guys are paying attention throughout the meeting. This was like a longer meeting because we didn't meet last month, but it matters, like what I'm saying, and that then we are doing these things. So a part of what we do at the end is I'm just going to ask some questions. Whoever gets the most questions right wins a gift card. Okay. Okay. When are we going to have pumpkin spice pumpkin?
Middle of
Oh gosh,
September.
I don't. You have to raise your hand. Sorry,
Raise
I don't know
your
who
hand.
did that first. Who did that first? Okay, that's what I thought. Jenna, when is it? Okay.
I'm putting in the 15th
Okay.
now. Closing my answer.
Can you bring your own product in, Jenna?
No, unless we ask you first, so you get to
Thank you. What is the name of Robert's drink? Ooh, Ellie.
Sorry.
Yes.
Alright.
How far in advance should you be asking off? I think that was Ellie. What else should you be doing? Clay?
Fill in the notes box with the reason.
Yes, very good. What is the portion for me? Clay? Very good. Where should the white cutting boards be left at the end of the night? I think that was Ellie.
Drying out this cross.
What should you be doing for your shift drink?
Bringing
Good.
it in the square system.
Very good. What should you do if we're running low on something? Robert? Yes.
Communicate with the barista.
Very good. Or Dakota if he is here.
Yes.
Yep, you got it. Okay. What are we communicating about price increases? Jenna?
that we haven't
Very good. What time are we closing on Labor Day? Oh my gosh, I don't know who that was.
Definitely not me.
Ellie, I think it was Ellie. 2 p.m.
Raise my hand higher. Just look like I got
Started.
it first.
You know, yeah, button would be nice.
We're all
Okay,
we're all super related to
um,
this right now.
This will be the last question unless it's a tiebreaker.
My hands aren't quick enough, so.
Clay's like off the motor.
What should you be doing with the rags at the end of your shift, Jenna?
Taking them either for the drying rack or out the furnace and taking them off for apron.
Thank you. Okay, so Ellie and Jenna are tied. So this is just for the two of them.
Tiebreaker.
Oh no.
What should customer service look like, Ellie?
If someone spills something, then just be reasonable about it, and I don't know, try to gauge the situation and just be kind about it.
Very good.
Welcome with
Okay.
a smile and hello, what's milk?
Okay.
Smile at them, just don't look too creepy.
Okay, so the last thing I'm gonna do is leave you with a quote. We're gonna, after I go over this, then we're gonna walk downstairs quick so I can show you guys the lock on the fridges. I want everyone to understand how that works so it doesn't get broken. Okay? And then we just need to clean up the drink stuff. So Jenna, do you mind doing that since okay, it shouldn't be too bad, but, okay, so our quote for this month is, perfection is not attainable, but if we chase perfection, we can catch excellence. Okay? I want that to continue to be our focus, guys. I want to be a place of excellence. And so I know these things seem little, and it's hard because we have shift workers, so that makes it difficult, but don't just assume the next person will catch it or the next person will do it. How we be excellent is we are diligent and we catch it ourselves. Clean up the trash that you see on the floor, even when you're tired and you don't want to do the next thing. That's your own character. So choosing that brings excellence to yourself and then to this business and how we show up in the community as well.